The Grimwade family actually showing real life despite social media feeding us all that real hype. We just some real guys trying to give some high definition to reality. Family acrobatically juggling life, smothered in cracks to avoid eternal casualty trust. It ain't easy, but teamwork make the dream work. It's me, Ella, Hesse, Hosanna, Harper and Hallie, and I ain't forget that has a rage and family.
Yes guys, what is going on? Right, this is going to be the realest thing we ever wrote. No, but seriously, we have had like the day from hell today. It's just been like that, and you know how we are, we always keep it real. And was you going to say something?
No, I wasn't.
Okay, cool. But basically, we wanted to do a video called How to Deal with Conflict Within Your Family.
Yeah.
So basically, that's anything where things aren't going swimmingly well in your family. Do you know what I mean? And you've got to deal with it, because you can't just turn a blind eye and just walk on. You know, you got to deal with things if you want to see improvement. So and it's probably much of a muchness, because you know how it is. Like usually when you don't deal with things head on, that's when you have one of them days. Do you know what I mean? And it just comes out of nowhere, or it appears to. But nothing ever comes out of nowhere. No. Does it?
No.
It's always something built up. Yeah. And that's why I'm always of the notion of do not just sweep stuff under the carpet. Do you know what I mean?
Because stop and you deal with it.
Yeah. And you guys are always so lovely to us, and like the kids are so well behaved and blah, blah, blah. They're kids. Do you know what I mean? They're kids. And this is not us trying to tarnish our children's names. You know, we love them. But we all have our times. Do you know what I mean? And mummy and daddy, you know, have short fuses at times. Sorry, trying not to spit there. You know, get stressed out, get tired. Do you know what I mean? Then get irritable as a result. And it was one of them days we got out the camera today to film, and it just didn't work.
No, it just didn't work at all. And
sorry, babe, you talk, man. I've been talking.
It's right. You get fed up of repeating yourself sometimes, and I think we do try to make it a priority, following Tim's lead, that we stop and deal with things, because I'm more prone to say, look, we've got someone to go, let's just get on, and you know, we'll do that later. Of course, later on, the moment's gone, you've calmed down, and things don't get dealt with sometimes, like in regards to the children. So we've spent time talking to them a lot when they haven't listened. Reflecting on behaviour when behaviour hasn't been up to standard, and being open and real and honest with them, because we're not trying to paint ourselves as the parents that are perfect, because I don't think that helps kids when you as a parent are trying to put yourself in the perfect light, because we all have failures. I don't always end up being the most happy-go-lucky person in the household when, oh, this is a mess, that's a mess, and I can let that become stress on our whole household when it doesn't need to be. And having a tidy home is not the be-all and end-all to life. It's nice, but when you've got to get out of the door, or something else needs to be attended to, that's not the main thing that your focus should be on. And sometimes I'm like, oh, well, if my house is not tidy, my mind's not tidy, and I can't, you know, keep everything in line and in order.
I'm sure you've got a million people out there that can relate to that.
Sure, a lot of you mums can relate to that. But then there comes a time when you have to just put stuff down and get on with the task at hand. And I can be very guilty of that. And I remember Auntie Rose just sometimes saying to me, Ella, sometimes if you need to just get out the door, you need to just get out the door and then come back and tidy stuff up afterwards. I'm still not very good at doing that. I'm still learning. But when because Tim said to me, so what we're going to do today, should we just miss it? Or should we actually, what should we do? And I said, well, how about talking about how to deal with conflict in a family? And
I said, great. As long as Ella's all right to do that, then I'm more than happy, because that's how I would, if you know me.
Yes.
That's what
I'm
like, so.
Also, we've always wanted to keep things real with you guys. We do not believe in putting out a fake image of ourselves.
Unattainable image.
Precisely. Because that's the whole point. I mean, if you listen to our intro song, what's the line again? About basically in a world that's faced...
the Grimwade Family, actually...
focused a lot on social media, putting out a fake image. We're actually trying to bring real life.
Yeah, there you go.
And this is what happens in real life. Not every day's perfect. But how do you deal with things? You deal with it.
And you talk together. You take time out for you guys. That's the best way. Like, it's the only way. And even then, it doesn't just dissolve the problems.
No.
It takes continued work.
Because in our household, sorry doesn't mean sorry until you change. Sorry is a doing word. So
and sorry, let me just interject. I'm sorry if any of this scares anyone out there, because it might seem very morbid, but it's not. It's just that was what today was, so we wanted to bring it to you. Do you know what I mean? And also, I hope that you would feel, okay, cool. Well, if they can open up, then I can open up
and
or
don't
be
worry,
myself.
we're used to putting ourselves out there, and we open up, and everyone is still like, okay, I still don't want to share my story.
And you don't
cool.
have to either.
You don't have to.
No, you don't have to, but we will.
Yeah, exactly. And we're still here standing together. I think some things that are important to say, sometimes in a household you'll say stuff to each other that you don't mean, or said in anger, or you're just trying to say something just to try and hurt the other person. If things are blurted out into the atmosphere, sometimes you have to acknowledge that a thing has been said, but then also say, do you know what, I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. And then it's on the hand of the person who it's been said to not hold on to it. Because, a part of acting in love is not hanging on to the wrongs that have been done. That's not specifically how the passage goes, but you know what I mean. Not holding on to wrongs and whatnot, and not holding things against each other. Forgiving.
Yeah. It's funny because I have a feeling. Was it 1 Peter 4:8 says, most important of all, continue to show deep love for each other, for love covers a multitude of sins. Now, that might sound like a bunch of hullabaloo to a lot of people. However, what it means is the Bible's definition of love is, go on, Bez, you can do
love is patient.
You can do the song.
Love is kind.
Joy, peace.
Oh, right. Is that love?
Oh, sorry, that's the fruits of the Spirit.
But yeah.
My bad. Anyway, back to that.
No, but having love is patient, love is kind. Love does not hold a record of wrongs. And that can be so hard to do, but we're still required to do it.
And that is why it says that love covers a multitude of sins. Because when someone else is wrong, if you can still be forgiven, then it kind of gives them a bligh, basically. It's a get out of jail free card, on their behalf. Because that's what real love is. Do you know what I mean? That's what real love is. You can't...
It's not just all the mushy
You
stuff.
can't sugarcoat it. Yes, it does have its, oh my gosh, we're so in love times and happy, and you should enjoy them times to the fullest. But never get it twisted. A lot of the, if you want, behind the scenes love is the long suffering love and the, okay, I was tripping today. Do you know what I mean? And you were right. Do you know what I mean? And I'll take the L. But you have to, in order for the betterment of your relationship, for the betterment of your family. And the other thing is, that's just it. Once you've entered into a family, so if we talk from our point of view, because obviously, love covering a multitude of sins could be for a single person just talking to a friend or whatever, any kind of relationship. But if we're talking within marriage, obviously we are, and then not only within marriage, but within a family as well, we have a lot on the line. Do you know what I mean? And there's going to be days where you just don't feel like pushing through and you think, oh, Ella's just taking a mick out of my life. This is long. Do you know what I mean? I prefer to be on an island on my own. Do you know what I mean? Just reading a book or whatever it is. Do you know what I mean? Just chilling. But the truth is, I wouldn't. And I'll tell you why I wouldn't. Because that would be quitting. That would be quitting. That would be giving up. That would be doing a disservice to myself as much as to my family and my wife and God and, do you know what I mean, and whatever else. We know that at the end of the day in life, sometimes people get to a place. By the way, we're not getting divorced. Again, I just don't want anyone reading in anything that's not there. This is genuinely just a real conversation. And, at the end of the day, I've totally lost my train of thought off of that.
You were saying, you know, you wouldn't, about quitting. If you went to an island by yourself, it would feel like quitting.
Got you. Thank you, babe. That's why I keep your own seat. Basically, some people, you know, come across stuff that maybe they feel they can't deal with. But I can promise you, even within those, you know, very difficult situations, you can deal with it because God says he won't put more on you than you can bear. And that's a promise. Do you know what I mean? So God actually thinks a lot of you. That's how I see it. Like, you know, at times I'm really under the cosh. Do you know what I mean? Like, in times in the past where we just haven't had money, or do you know what I mean, or whatever, and there's just been pressures just coming from everywhere, like pressures that will bust pipes. Do you know what I mean? But God said, Tim, you can do that, you know? Like, you can do it. Like, obviously you need me. Like, that's what I want you to do. I want you to rely on me. That's God talking. And that's not how he sounds. But, I don't know how he sounds. But, at the end of the day, you can withstand. Do you know what I mean? You can withstand. And I really hope we would encourage some people out there, you know, in this factor of not letting your first thought when someone hacks you off, let me sever ties, let me go, let me quit, let me stop. But, you know, and also trying to hear their side of the story as well, because, you know, sometimes you're both wrong. You're both right and you're both wrong. Do you know what I mean? All at the same time. And you can be so right you're wrong. Don't worry, if you're married, you'll understand. Do you know what I mean? Because if at the end of the day, I'm right, but Ella just doesn't see it, and I said, no, well, I'm right, and I'm just sticking to my guns, all I'm doing is driving a wedge. Like, so if I have to say, for the team's sake, oh, okay, cool, whatever. Do you know what I mean? Just let it go, literally. Then that's what I need to do.
I think also, you know, like I said in our anniversary, was it our anniversary video? You know, basically sometimes all you can do in a relationship, in a family, is just stay, and they're staying and being
actively
committed,
staying,
just staying and being committed because you're just there, but then they're staying and actively staying and actually still trying, and no matter what, you have to keep on, you have to keep on going, you have to keep on trying, because you committed to something when you got married, and you committed to something when you had a child. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I said to my kids today, like, you know, a marriage is something you commit to and you make vows, but having a child as well, it's a commitment, it's a promise. You're always going to be a parent to that child, and you cannot quit on that. And as long as God is God and, you know, he's saved me, I'm here committed. And, well, this is sounding deep, innit? Rah, boy. I'm committed to this home. I'm committed to this relationship. I'm committed to this family, no matter how hard it gets. And we've been through some stuff, do you know what I mean? And maybe we'll be able to share more things vlogs, in the future, maybe one-to-one, if we get to meet you guys even, who knows. But it's not easy, guys, but we just encourage you to keep on going. And I know sometimes people, especially in relationships, they go, well, this isn't what I signed up for. You don't know what's
to be honest, you didn't know what you signed up for.
Exactly. And that's
because
the most
you ain't Mystic Meg.
thing. Yeah, exactly. That's the most scary thing, not knowing how things are going to turn out, not knowing what challenges are going to come.
Like, our pastors, I think Giles even used to say to me, like, when you get married, you signed a blank check. Like, you know, and you've signed it. You signed it. So you are committed. And things will change and toss and turn, and do you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, you're in.
You might as well be in that trying your best rather than being in it trying your best to get out, because they ain't gonna work.
And I will say one thing that I have found that has always helped in our relationship is there are two people pushing for the same thing. That does obviously make it near to impossible if only one person wants something and the other person does not want it. That is, you know, unless their heart changes, that's almost a losing battle. But that's not saying God can't change someone's heart. Do you know what I mean? So it's never dead in the water, as they say. But, you know, you do have to, at some point, you have to come around to a place where you're both pushing forward for the same things. Do you know what I mean? So, and Ella has always been in it, you know, with me for the long haul.
Yeah,
in it, girl.
Precisely.
You know what I mean?
That's
And vice versa. And that's, you know, a lot of people have always kind of commented on, oh, you've got a great relationship. You know, I think it's because we're a bit raggo with each other sometimes. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, don't get twisted. We have the very happy times. We have the very, oh yeah, this is so fun and great.
Yeah, so you guys have seen it.
Yeah, you guys see it, man. And don't get twisted again. Like the kids, they can be an absolute blessing. Like, and I'm sorry you didn't get to see the kids again today. But don't worry.
They're fine.
They're here. They're upstairs asleep. And they will be back very soon. But we just didn't want to leave you with nothing. And even in our hardest times, we still wanted to do this. Again, we committed to this. We committed to YouTube. Do you know what I mean?
And also, another thing to clarify, to be fair, we were actually hoping to actually be able to give you a really fun vlog today where we were all doing something together, but we kind of got let down.
Yeah,
so it was...
that fell through. So,
yeah, and that happened right at the beginning of the day, and yeah, it kind of went...
Yeah. Pretty much. So
yeah.
guys, I hope you can take some encouragement from what we've been talking about. As Ella said, you know, if hearing real stuff like, you know, relationship stuff is something you would be interested in hearing more about, maybe you could throw some topics in the comments or something.
Yeah, that would be fantastic.
Get us on our Instagram at the Grimwade Family. I promise someone that we will do a Q&A, a live Q&A at some point, and we will do that. But please also, you know, video ideas. We love to hear them. And, you know, if you want to know about whatever you want to know, just let us know. We will talk about it.
Relationships do make the world go around, and that's why, you know, we're focused on trying to build positive ones. And if we can help you do that in your part of the world, wherever you're from, that would be great for us. Yeah.
Over and out.
Love you guys.
God bless.
So you think you were right? Bring it on, prove me